What is going on, everybody? It's the Daily Fantasy Hitman back at you with another League of Legends breakdown. Today we got two games out of the LPL, and they are set to be some bangers. We got first place Edward Gaming taking on ninth place BLG. And then we got 11th place Top Esports facing 7th place LNG, which is interesting because Top Esports is coming in here as a minus 435 favorite, even though they're in 11th place. Which makes you wonder why, right? Well, we'll get into that, okay? But first things first, let's go into the first matchup. Edward Gaming versus Billy Gaming. I'm just gonna say BLG. So EDG, I think their team is extremely good. Do I think they're first best in the LPL good? It's hard to say. Hard to say because a lot of these teams, I mean, WE just picked off FPX, and I thought FPX was the best team, so it's really hard to say. But I mean, 7-0, they clearly look like the top dogs. I mean, look at this, whole lot of green here. That's an 11-game win streak. But the thing that I think is really interesting is you look at their teams, right? Like, who have they beaten, right? And a lot of their wins, I mean, you take the FPX win and the JDG win, but other than that, V5 10th place, Suning 12th, Thundertalk 13th, LGD, OMG 15th and 16th. Take out the FPX win and the JDG win, and the teams they've played have a combined record of, let me just check right here, combined record of 11 and 25. Ouch, right? So I do think that EDG is somewhat getting artificially propped up right here because they've had a very easy schedule. Now, Billy hasn't necessarily had a harder schedule, but it's been more like mid tier teams instead of the lower guys. Like, they have played E Star, they're pretty bad. They've played LGD and they played OMG. So that's 3 right here, 14, 15, 16. But other than that, they also played V5 at 10. But other than that, they played Rare Atom, they played JDG, and they played RNG. So they've played some of the better teams, and they held their own here versus RNG without their starting support. Which, if you come over here, LPL Weibo, you can get the starting lineups. And guess what? Mark is back. Mark's back, so clearly something was going on there because he had to take an extended leave of absence before the break. But he's back, he's good now. BLG's full strength, and they're facing EDG full strength. So I think that this matchup is going to be a lot closer than people think. You look at stats like this, like early game rating, right? EDG's 4th, BLG, what is that, 9th? So pretty even. I mean, only separated by about 9. Now, they dominate them in the mid to late game rating. I mean, somehow BLG's getting a fat 0 here. But, I mean, look at goal difference of 15, right? EDG 3rd, BLG again coming in here at 8th. Relatively close, right? A lot of these stats are relatively close. And you look at players like Aiming, Zika, Meteor, Boy, Mark. These guys are somewhat veterans, right? And same goes for Flandre. This team is stacked with veterans as well. So this is going to be a close matchup. And the fact that BLG gets side selection here, I think this is kind of big because you look at something like this. You look at their how they've done on each side, right? BLG seems to really excel on this blue side, 6-3, 5-7 on the red side. I'm not even going to look at EDGs because it's literally like 8-1 and 6-1 because they've only lost 2 games. But, I mean, BLG, they like this blue side, right? So the fact that they get blue side advantage is positive for them, okay? And the fact that they have these veterans, I mean, I didn't even touch on this. Aiming, coming from the LCK, playing with KT Rolster, right? Well, where was Viper at before this? Oh, Hanwha Life, he was over in the LCK as well. So these guys know each other. They've laned versus each other. They've played versus each other a lot. So I don't think Aiming will get dominated like a lot of these other LPL ADCs seem to have been getting dominated by Viper because he's going to know somewhat his tendencies, how he likes to play, things like that. So I'm actually going with the upset here. I'm going BLG 2-1 over EDG. I think they can do it. If there's going to be an upset tomorrow, it's going to be BLG, and I love riding with the dogs just because it's fun. People don't expect it, and when you actually have some ammunition on your side, it's worth taking that risk. So I think EDG, this 11 game win streak gets snapped tomorrow. I think Aiming and BLG can do it. I think they win 2-1, and I think we see EDG pick up their first loss of the split. Now let's move on to TES versus LNG. I think this series is a little bit more one-sided. You got TES coming in as the number one early game rating, number one goal difference at 15. LNG, where can I find them? Way over here. 48.2, 12 goal difference at 15. Not that great. Now you could say they scale on them, but 1.8. I'm not really gonna say that's a heavy number. It's kind of middling. Also, champions killed per minute. LNG's coming in dead last. Last thing, I really don't like the fact that they're bringing in Ale in the top lane versus 369, who's straight veteran. This team has had its good points, but at the end of the day, they kind of look disconnected a lot of the time, and I think that leads to the super low champions killed per minute because they're not really playing together. And this is really damning too. You look at this, LNG, they do not have side selection here. TES has side selection, so they'll probably be on red side twice, right? And they are 1-6 on red side versus 7-2 on the blue side. So the fact that their top lane is essentially, I don't know what's going on there at this moment. Then they're 1-6 on red side, and yeah, I just don't like the matchup. Top esports, people think. Top esports is getting kind of handicapped here because they've only played 6 games, right? 6 series. V5's played 8, BLG's played 8, right? Some FPX already played 9, right? So TES has only played 6. They win a singular game here and they're pushing for 6th or 7th place. It's kind of crazy how quickly you can move up in the early portion of the split, and I think Top Esports is going to give us that here. I just think that the Jackie Love is too strong. LNG tends to play a lot around Icon and Light, giving them priority in lane, and I just think, Jackie Love and Zuho has finally been stepping up, right? You look at these performances, especially this performance versus JDG, 0-3-29, that's pretty massive. And the fact that Jackie Love is pretty competent on the Senna, I could see them doing this again, Senna Tom Kench. Didn't work out versus FPX, but that's FPX. I think it could work out versus a team like LNG, and it could be pretty nasty. Overall, I think Top Esports kind of smashes them here. I think it's a 2-0. I think this is the quicker series. So I'm going to go BLG 2-1 over EDG with the upset, and then I'm going to go TES 2-0 over LNG. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a subscription on YouTube if you possibly could. Maybe like the video. Do whatever you need to do. And if you want to see my full DFS breakdown, I offer them right here. Patreon.com/DFS Hitman. Got 26 patrons right now. We're moving on up. Got the LPL article already posted. We got things like side selection, BLG on blue side, EDG on red side, stuff like that. So, tune in, sign up if you want, have fun. Good luck tonight. Let's get it, everybody.